pine is going to get wrapped in a burlap tent because it's particularly sensitive. But it's a little denser than the two junipers. There's two junipers there, and they're in decline, and they're not nice and thick and full, and so you've got to have a fairly thick, full plant to do this. But one of the reasons you would tie a plant is so that when the wet snow in the winter lands on it, it's not going to spread the plant open. So you can do this with upright cedars, yews, and plants like that. I've even seen globe boxwood tied using this technique, and it's a pretty simple technique to do. And again, the object is to protect the plant. The other object is to make it look pretty. We want it to look pretty. So we're going to actually tie this one because it's a little thicker, but we're still going to burlap it at some point. We ran out of burlap today. So we use twine. You can use a little thicker twine than this. Why do we use natural twine?
It breaks down.
Breaks down, so in case you miss a bit or you got a bit wrapped around the branch and you don't notice it, it breaks down, right?
What kind is that?
Jute.
Jute?
Or sisal. Yeah, there's two natural twines. There's two junipers at the entrance to the sundial there, and you'll see that one is shorter than the other because years ago, before I started on the property, there was an old fellow here who used polypropylene twine to tie up the junipers. And then one winter I came in and the top had snapped out of the juniper, and when I climbed up to it I saw that the twine had wrapped around it and it had girdled it and it weakened it and it snapped off. So hence why one of those junipers is shorter than the other. It's because they use polypropylene twine. Now polypropylene usually breaks down because it's not very UV stabilized, but in a plant it's hidden, right? So this technique essentially will just pull the branches in a little bit and give a little structure to it so that it doesn't spread apart. So the first thing we have to do, take the tag out for this one, is we have to make a circle around the bottom of the plant. And we only do two knots on this. Actually, one of our spikes from the burlap last year. Cheat here a little. Right, so I'm going to close this loop that I've made, and you want to judge that by the size of the plant that you've got. So I'm just going to put a knot in here. Tie that. So I've got a circle.
So do you like the width of the foliage, sort of?
Yeah. You don't want to go out too far, but okay. So I've got a nice circle. Now what I'm going to do, I think it's going to be enough twine. If you're always short on twine, you can always tie it. Anyhow.
Give it a sheet bend.
So I'm going to need a couple of people. One on this side, one on this side to help me here.
Help?
Okay, good.
You're right.
So what we want to do is we want to go up in increments. We're going to like circle this tree, but in increments. And you can judge by the density of the foliage and experience how far you want it apart. But with this plant, because there's a lot of little shoots, I want to keep them fairly close together. So I'm going to go like 6 inches or so up, and we're going to do a circle. So what I want to do, and this takes a little bit to get it started, is I want to go up 6 inches. So I want to do this, and then I'm going to pass that, and so you can pass it right around the plant. And we want to keep it at about 6 inches.
Every 6 inches all the way around?
Yeah.
It's like putting lights on a Christmas tree.
Yeah. But you're going to give me the piece of string. Now,
do you want this up under that string?
No, just I just want it.
Ow.
Want it at about 6 inches. So you're holding it at 6 inches, and I've got my loop,
Oh, and you go under.
and I go under it,
Yeah.
right? And you'll see this after a couple of turns. Do that, thread that through, pull it a little bit, pull it, circle down there. The first one's going to look a little off. Okay, go around again, yep.
Is this the same thing you do over top of a burlap?
Yeah, you can do it over burlap as well if you're wrapping the plant in burlap. So you see what's happening.
Cool.
Keep going.
It's gonna be pretty.
Pull her in. Now, sometimes you want to check to make sure you got the branches, and you have to adjust this as you go, so that you're getting all the branches and you're keeping your spacing the same. Right, now we need to, I'm going to add some more string to that. It's often a little easier with a little heavier twine. Baler twine, it's not plastic twine. The old people baler twine.
Yeah.
It's a lot thicker. Alright, so pull it, put some tension on it. Yeah, go a little lower, 6 inches. A little lower, yeah. And this looks really nice once you've done it on a really tightly clipped plant like a cedar or skyrocket juniper or an upright yew.
Mike,
Yes.
how do you decide which ones you just do with the twine and which ones you'll do with the burlap?
Well, this one we're going to burlap as well, so this is a little more protection for it. What happens is, this is primarily for slow load. It'll help to reduce some desiccation because the needles are squashed in together, right? So there's less air movement around them. But we know that this plant is...
So it's a hardiness issue?
Yeah, this
As to
one's got a
burlapping?
hardiness issue and an exposure issue up here. Yeah, this is getting wrapped with burlap. Yeah, this is just a demo because the junipers I used last year, they don't have enough branches, and so it's hard for you guys to follow on what's happening. Now, hold that. And if you're really cheap, like me, you put a knot here that you can release easily in the spring, and then you can reuse your twine for something else.
Oh my God.
I did that on the road.
Are you Dutch?
You're not that cheap, are you?
I am.
I thought you were English, not Dutch.
Oh. Cornish are much cheaper than the Dutch.